Hailey Dunn in Midland, Texas. I don't like reading to you, but I think this might be the best way to do this. I just want to. I've jotted down some notes, and I wanted to go over the history of how Hailey was connected to my home and the crimes against me, and then a list of the videos that I've made. And you're gonna find this really interesting. On the left hand side, I just did a Google search for Hailey's images, and you can see them, and we'll look through them too. Hailey was a famous missing, murdered 13-year-old cheerleader who I've compared to Jon Bonet Ramsey because she also made national news and millions of people know who she is. Her mom, Billie Dunn, reported Hailey missing from Colorado City, Texas, 80 miles from Midland, on December 27, 2010. Hailey went missing just 2 months after the week for the Permian Basin International Oil Show and its infamous wild parties thrown by wealthy oil men. This was the month that my friend told me that she witnessed another young girl who was murdered at one of these parties because she refused to prostitute. I have reason to believe this happened in the underground facility said by several people to be near my home in Midland, Texas, and possibly the one in my backyard as seen on Google Maps. Multiple people have told me that Billie Dunn was a stripper at this time, who was the mom, and so it would make sense that she'd been ordered to work at these oil show parties, just like my friend and the young girl who was murdered that refused to prostitute. It's even been suggested that she took Hailey with her, as it was also said that she had been taking her to the strip clubs when she worked the pole. I have a print screen of a woman telling me that. I think it's real possible that Hailey was in the underground facility in my backyard just 2 months before she went missing, and it also makes sense that the many others there don't want the public to find that out, and that would be a lot of people. I recorded another woman on the phone saying there were 4 3-bedroom, $1 million underground homes here, and they had been having pedophile parties down there. That statement seems to confirm this theory that Hailey was at the oil show parties. 13-year-old Hailey Dunn. On March 14, 2013, I wrote the Department of Justice and suggested that somebody look in the underground facility here for Hailey Dunn, but they didn't look, and 2 weeks later, her remains were found in Scurry County. She'd been gone for over 2 years. Now, more than a half dozen people are documented saying that Hailey was killed and or buried near Odessa. This includes where, when, how, and who. And the press around here, and even the national press, has ignored the facts of this case. I'm going to scroll down on that. Many people have suspected that Hailey was dug up and moved as a result of this email that I sent to the Department of Justice, and that Curtis Lloyd was somehow chosen to find her. My research into Mr. Lloyd showed we have around 150 mutual Facebook friends, which include many of the ones that never share my interesting and fact-filled story. This is the biggest untold story in America. Remember, proof of faked x-rays, $1 million underground facilities, first known secret police gang in the history of the United States, and on and on and on. This is a huge story. Okay. Interestingly, I was doing research into one of the many homes that I've documented as having people in the attic, and I found that it looked like a relative of Curtis Lloyd, the guy that found Hailey, living next door to the home on Dartmouth Street here in Midland. And that was one of the homes where they had reported people in the attic. I even wondered if this was his parents' home and he grew up there. That might make a connection between Curtis and these unique crimes of homes being rigged with tunnels and people getting in the attic, etc. I researched the neighbors because that is where I suspect the tunnels go to, these rigged homes. It makes sense that that's where the tunnels that are going to the rigged homes. I even wondered if Hailey's dad was at one of these oil show parties. That's Clint Dunn too, because I took a screenshot of another guy saying that he was pimping out Hailey to his oilfield friends for $500 a piece. That, and once again, that's not Buddy said, he said. I've got a print screen showing that I was told that. I've long suspected that him and his PI have ignored solid leads, spread misinformation, and personally attacked anybody who have found evidence about Hailey Dunn. And this case was investigated by several law enforcement groups before it was assigned to Scurry County DA investigator Jon McDaniel. Many people suspected that Mr. McDaniel has been ignoring evidence and leads as nobody has been arrested, even when a half dozen people are saying that Hailey was killed and buried in Odessa. The question had been asked if this is the same Jon McDaniel that used to work for the Midland Sheriff Department. That would be interesting. Nobody's ever answered that question. And then I went through and I listed the videos here that I made, and you can find these. I'm gonna show you here on YouTube how to do it here, and I put them in order and how many views there were on it. Now I also post these on Facebook, and Facebook has probably triple the amount of views that I get on YouTube. But you can see the latest one was called Clint Dunn Says Some Stinky Shit's Going On, and that's where he told me in that video that he believed what Sonia Renee Callahan said, and she said she was a witness to Hailey being murdered. And then attic investigation, Dartmouth. That's where I was telling you that it looks like maybe Curtis Lloyd grew up next door to a house that's where people were reporting people in the attic. And there's going to be many of these. I'm not going to read them all out, just the important ones. And big one, Hailey Dunn killed over a family drug debt. Multiple people have said that. Buried in the backyard of Odessa cop. Now that's really, really interesting right there. And there's going to be a lot of these, but I think you're going to find them real interesting. Hailey Dunn timelines want to share all the time because I just listed out, I was told this on this day, I was told this on this day, this happened on this day, and so it's just fact-filled. It paints a real clear story. I actually talked to John McDaniel at the Scurry County DA office, and I recorded it, okay? I provided evidence to Homeland Security. Remember that? That was probably a month before I seen them at the Home Depot store, showed them where I believe the tunnels were at, and then 2 weeks later the ground was dug up and they were pouring concrete. But I made a video of the evidence that I provided them, and that included Hailey Dunn information. Some of these I've got death threats over. This one's really interesting. It's not even mine. Another tell of why, where, and mostly who. And I mean, that one's the tell-all as far as I'm concerned. Tells who took her, when they took her, took her over to Odessa. It was a gang, and they named the gang members. They were pimping her out, and then she OD'd. I mean, it's all there. It all matches up, Something real fishy's going on here. That's what I call the witchcraft tour. That's where Clint Dunn and his PI went around telling everybody they believed in this magic rug and some kind of spells or something. Something that had to do with magic spells or something. It was nutty is what it was. Just absurd. And so here's, sacrifice, that's what it was. Child sacrifice, it had nothing to do with the evidence, we're totally ignoring. We got a half dozen people saying she's kidnapped by gang members, taken to Odessa and pimped out. Okay. And then, more buried in the backyard of a cop. Child killers. That's where I secretly recorded Sonia Renee Callahan describing the moment Hailey died. That one's chilling right there. This is one of my first ones. Hailey Dunn murder confession. 17,000 views on YouTube on that, and basically I created this video called Midland, Texas Tunnels and Crime Part 3. And this is because, I survived a murder attempt, living under a death threat, and, I'm trying to save my life. Here's what I'm trying to do. And so anyways, I create this video, talk about the secluded trucking lane, the child sex trafficking, the little girl I seen, the child's toy found. That I mentioned Hailey Dunn. A drug rehab counselor watched this video. She's a drug rehab counselor in Odessa, and she contacts me and tells me about a guy named Brett Bushman that confessed being at a home where Hailey was murdered over in Odessa, and then she sent me a print screen of an email to her supervisor at Turning Point over in Odessa, saying how he'd been involved in 3 homicides, and that he was involved, affiliated with a gang, and how they bent her, broke her, put her in a box, buried her on a ranch outside Odessa. The mom had sold the daughter for $135 worth of meth. And I'm thinking, what, the mom's stripping, and taking her to the strip club with her, when that might be where gang members and meth was at. I mean, kind of makes sense. And here, I'll scroll down on these images here. You can see here. You can go through and sometimes I use these images and put them in these videos. Okay. And so the other thing I want to show you here to finish this out, my YouTube channel here's under Buddy Webb. Okay. And I started this in August 2012, and here 750,000 views on YouTube. And like I said, I probably tripled that amount on Facebook. because I post them in 2 different places, fact-filled. And this is, you know, I mean, I survived a murder attempt. There's no doubt about it. One shot with my gun, and it took 6 years to get them police identified. You know, I had to pay for that. It's just been incredible. Proof of faked x-rays and everything else. So I've created maybe 600 videos or more, you know, and it's truly incredible. And so here's, if you just go to videos, you'll see the recent ones that I've done, and many of them are just wow, 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 you know. And but what you can do here is, if you'll go here, sort by most popular, then it's going to switch, and I'll show you like rape and murder, and that was really kind of talking about secret police Chad Simpson that murdered his wife Sandra Simpson, okay, and how I posted that story about the girl at the 2010 oil show party that had been murdered because she refused to prostitute. Had high-level police were there, and then 2 days later, after I posted that story, Chad Simpson murders his wife. But what's incredible is that's 40,000 views on the video. And remember, that's only the ones on YouTube. That didn't include the ones on Facebook. You know, Midland, Texas secret police. This was during the 6 years that they were still secret. You know, is this a sex trafficking tunnel? 23,000 miles. That's going to show the side-by-side manholes and the missing tree that was dug up. You know, here's another one showing the wall, where it's real easy to tell that wall, that dividing wall in my alley between my home and Home Depot had been dug up. You know, Hailey Dunn, murder confession, 17,000. See, it's in the top 6 videos right here. And so it looked like I had a lot of videos of Hailey Dunn, but look at, I've got more of other one. Finding the tunnel. That's interesting. 14,000 views on that one, you know. And there's just truly some incredible caught digging. I used my camera one day. My dog alerted me of a digging noise in the backyard. I go out there using my phone camera, and I record what you can hear, somebody under the ground digging, okay? Literally, okay? And that's a video. And it's been compared to Pizzagate here in Midland, Texas, the hometown of George Bush, you know. Like I said, these are the most popular videos, but I have many, many more. And a lot of times the most popular ones are the oldest one. 28 later, that's a very interesting. 2.7 thousand. That shows where my whole home's buried under 1.5 feet of dirt, you know. Where'd the dirt come from? Well, from the tunnel in the basement building. That's where it come from. And you can see some of these other ones. Death smell and cut up clothes. That one's interesting. That's about Rini Escobar Sanchez, still missing man from Odessa, Texas. Went missing 3 months before I moved in and bought this home. Secret police heard on the scanner. Actually, I just heard one of the secret police, April Chandler, on the police scanner this week. You know, and that's an old video. Hailey Dunn in the underground facility. That's what this video's about, right? Man-sized tunnel pipe out front of my home. And Mike Lawhon, it's believed that he was killed. This is 1.1 thousand 3 years ago. He was the previous homeowner, died 2 weeks before I transferred town, bought this home. And I just found out 2 weeks ago that he was telling his friends about people breaking into this house before he died. And when you look at that, it's real easy to tell that he was murdered here and then taken to Fort Worth. I mean, this is total lawlessness. Okay, Hailey Dunn. Well, y'all check that out.